A barefoot boy with nothing but hunger and hope slipped through the gates of the richest mansion in Lagos. What he saw broke his heart. A little girl in a wheelchair, tears streaming down her face, staring at nothing. So he did the only thing he knew how to do. He began to dance, not for money, not for food, just to see her smile. What the billionaire father did when he caught them will leave you speechless. Chief Adebayo Coker was not just rich, he was wealthy beyond measure. His name appeared in Forbes Africa. His oil company supplied fuel to half the country. His real estate empire stretched from Lagos to Abuja to Port Harcourt. Politicians called him. Governors visited him. Presidents shook his hand. But none of that mattered anymore. Because inside his towering mansion in Banana Island, surrounded by marble floors and golden chandeliers, his world was falling apart. His only daughter, Blessing, had not smiled in 8 months. She sat in her custom-made wheelchair every day, staring out the window at the swimming pool she could no longer swim in, at the garden she could no longer run through, at the life she could no longer live. The accident had happened on a rainy night in December. Chief Adebayo and his wife, Funmi, were driving home from a family wedding with 9-year-old Blessing asleep in the back seat. A trailer lost control on 3rd Mainland Bridge. The crash was instant, devastating. Funmi died on impact. Blessing survived, but her spine was damaged. The doctors said she might never walk again. Chief Adebayo threw money at the problem like he always did. He flew Blessing to India for surgery, to Germany for stem cell therapy, to America for experimental treatment. The best doctors, the best care money could buy. Nothing worked. Blessing's body remained broken. But worse than that, her spirit died with her mother. She stopped talking much, stopped eating properly, stopped laughing. She became a ghost in her own home. Chief Adebayo hired nurses, therapists, psychologists. He bought her toys, books, iPads, anything she wanted. But Blessing wanted only one thing, her mother. And that was the one thing his billions could not buy. The mansion became a tomb. Quiet, cold, empty. Chief Adebayo buried himself in work, meetings, deals, contracts, anything to avoid coming home to the sight of his daughter's empty eyes. The housekeepers whispered. The guards pitied him. Even his own brother, Uncle Festus, looked at him with something close to satisfaction, as if waiting for the mighty Chief Adebayo to finally crumble. But on one hot Wednesday afternoon, everything changed. His name was Timi. At least that's what people called him at the bus stop where he lived. Nobody knew his real full name. Nobody knew where he came from. Some said his mother abandoned him when he was 5. Others said she died and his father disappeared. All anyone knew for sure was that Timi had no home. He slept under the Costain Bridge at night with other street children. When it rained, he hid in abandoned cars. When he was hungry, which was almost every day, he begged at traffic lights or danced for drivers who might toss him 20 naira. Timi was 11 years old, but the streets had made him look older. His shorts were torn and too big, held up by a piece of rope. His t-shirt, once white, was now brown with dirt. His feet were bare, hardened by walking on hot asphalt and broken bottles. But despite all of that, Timi had one thing that the streets could never take from him. When hunger twisted his stomach into knots, he danced. When other boys fought over scraps of bread, he danced. When adults shouted at him to get out of their way, he danced. Dancing made him feel alive. It made him forget the pain. It made him visible in a world that pretended not to see him. That afternoon, Timi was walking past the tall gates of the big houses in Banana Island. He liked to imagine what life was like inside those walls. Did they have soft beds? Did they eat 3 times a day? Did anyone inside ever feel hungry or cold? He stopped in front of one particular mansion. The gate was massive, black iron with gold trimming. Through a small gap in the fence, Timi could see a huge compound. Fountain, flowers, green grass that looked softer than any bed he'd ever slept on. And then he saw her, a little girl, maybe 8 or 9 years old, sitting in a wheelchair near a mango tree. Her head was down. Her hands lay lifeless in her lap. She wasn't moving, wasn't playing, just sitting. Timi's chest tightened. He knew that look. He'd seen it before on the faces of children who had lost hope. He didn't know why, but something inside him said, "Make her smile." So without thinking, Timi squeezed through a gap in the hedge. His small, thin body slipped through easily. He landed on the soft grass and straightened up. The girl didn't even notice him at first. Timi walked closer, slowly, carefully. Then he stood in front of her and cleared his throat. She looked up. Her eyes were dull, red from crying. Timi smiled. Then, without saying a word, he began to dance. Timi's dancing was not professional. It was wild, silly, exaggerated. He flapped his arms like a chicken. He spun in circles until he got dizzy and pretended to fall. He made his eyes wide and stuck out his tongue. He hopped on one leg, then the other, like a broken robot. At first, Blessing just stared at him, confused, but then, slowly, the corner of her mouth twitched. Timi saw it. He danced harder. He rolled on the grass, jumped up, spun around, and bowed like a king greeting his queen. Blessing's lips curved into a small smile. Timi's heart leaped. He kept going. He pretended to be a masquerade, running in zigzag lines. He made sounds like a car engine. He acted like he was being chased by an invisible dog. And then, it happened. Blessing laughed. Not a polluted giggle. Not a quiet chuckle. A real, loud, full-body laugh that echoed across the compound. Timi grinned so wide his cheeks hot. He danced even crazier, sliding on his knees, waving his hands above his head, spinning until he collapsed on the grass in a dramatic heap. Blessing clapped her hands. "Again, do it again." Timi jumped up. "You want more?" Yes, her voice was bright, alive. He danced, and she laughed. And for those precious few minutes, the sadness that had lived in that mansion for 8 months disappeared. Chief Adebayo was in his study on the 2nd floor when he heard it. Laughter, his daughter's laughter. He froze. His hand, holding a pen, stopped mid-signature. He hadn't heard that sound in so long that for a moment he thought he was imagining it. But then he heard it again. Louder, clearer. Chief Adebayo stood up so fast, his chair fell backward. He rushed to the window and looked down into the garden. What he saw made him stop breathing. Blessing was clapping, smiling, laughing. Her face was lit up with joy he thought he would never see again. And dancing in front of her, barefoot and ragged, was a street boy. Chief Adebayo's first instinct was anger. Who let this dirty boy into my compound? Where are my security guards? Is my daughter safe? He was about to shout, to call the guards, to have the boy thrown out immediately. But then he saw Blessing's face again. Her eyes sparkled. Her cheeks glowed. She was alive. Chief Adebayo's hand, raised to call for help, slowly lowered. He stood there, frozen, watching. The boy wasn't stealing. He wasn't begging. But dancing, and in doing so to feel in months no amount of money could do. He had made Blessing smile again. Chief Adebayo felt something crack inside his chest. It wasn't anger. It was something deeper, something he hadn't allowed himself to feel in months. Hope. He leaned against the window frame and watched in silence. Tears filled his eyes, but he didn't wipe them away. For the first time since the accident, Chief Adebayo Coker allowed himself to believe that maybe, just maybe, his daughter could be saved, not by medicine, not by money, but by joy. Chief Adebayo walked down the stairs slowly, his mind racing. Part of him wanted to protect his daughter from this stranger. Another part of him knew that this stranger had just done something impossible. He stepped into the garden. His expensive Italian shoes made soft sounds on the stone pathway. Timi saw him first. The boy froze mid-dance, his smile disappearing instantly. He knew that walk, that suit, that face. Rich man, powerful man, dangerous man. Blessing turned her wheelchair around. Daddy, did you see him dance? Chief Adebayo ignored her for a moment. His eyes were locked on Timi. What is your name? Timi swallowed hard. Timi, sir. How did you get into my compound? I came through the head, sir. I'm sorry, I didn't mean any harm. I just saw her looking sad and I thought her fan caught here. You thought you could just walk into someone's home. Chief Adebayo's voice was cold, conhold, the voice of a man used to being obeyed. Daddy, no. Blessing wheeled herself between them. He made me laugh. Please don't send him away. Chief Adebayo looked at his daughter. Her eyes were bright, her cheeks flushed. She looked more alive than she had in months. He turned back to Timi. Where do you live? Under the bridge, sir. Near Costain. Your parents? I don't have any, sir. Chief Adebayo studied the boy carefully. Thin, dirty, barefoot, no parents, no home. Everything inside him screamed danger, risk, foolishness. But then he looked at Blessing again, and he remembered her laughter, that sound he thought was lost forever. He took a deep breath. What you did was wrong. You trespassed. You could have been hurt. My guards could have mistaken you for a thief. I know, sir. I'm sorry. I'll go now. Timi turned to leave. Wait. Timi stopped. Chief Adebayo's jaw tightened. He was about to do something that went against every business instinct he had. But this wasn't business. This was his daughter. You can come back. Tomorrow. Same time. But you will come through the front gate. The guards will be told to let you in. You will stay in the garden where I can see you. You will not enter the house. You will not touch anything. And you will leave when I say so. Do you understand? Timi's eyes went wide. You want me to come back? My daughter wants you to come back. And right now, what she wants is more important than what I think is wise. Blessing squealed with joy. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you. Chief Adebayo raised a hand. But if anything goes missing, if there is any trouble at all, you will never set foot here again. Are we clear? Yes, sir. Very clear, sir. Thank you, sir. Now go. It's getting late. Timi wanted to dance, to jump, to shout, but he simply nodded respectfully and walked towards the gate. As he left, he turned back one more time. Blessing waved at him with both hands, a huge smile on her face. Timi waved back. And for the first time in years, he felt something he had almost forgotten. That evening, Chief Adebayo called a meeting with his household staff in the sitting room. There was Brother Jide, the head security guard, Auntie Bimpe, the cook, Emmanuel, the driver, and Sister Patience, the head housekeeper, who had been with the family for 12 years. Sister Patience was a tall, sharp-set woman in her 50s. She wore her hair in a tight bun and spoke with the authority of someone who believed she knew better than everyone else. Chief Adebayo stood before them, hands behind his back. From tomorrow, a young boy will be visiting this house every afternoon. His name is Timi. He is a friend of Blessings. You will treat him with respect. Sister Patience's face twisted. A boy? What kind of boy? Does it matter? It matters if he's one of those dirty street children, sir. With all due respect, this house has standards. Chief Adebayo's eyes turned cold. My daughter smiled today for the first time in 8 months. That boy made her smile. If you have a problem with that, Sister Patience, you are free to find employment elsewhere. The room went silent. Sister Patience pressed her lips together tightly but said nothing more. Brother Jide cleared his throat. Sir, should we search him when he comes? Just to be safe? No. You will let him in. You will let him leave. You will not harass him. Am I understood? Yes, sir. Chief Adebayo dismissed them all except Auntie Bimpe. When the boy comes tomorrow, prepare food for him before he leaves. Something filling. Rice, chicken, plantain, whatever we have. Auntie Bimpe smiled warmly. Yes, sir. Anything for Madam Blessing. As they left, Sister Patience lingered near the door. She watched Chief Adebayo walk upstairs and muttered under her breath, street rat in a mansion. This will not end well. The next afternoon, Timi stood nervously at the front gate. He had washed himself in the public tap near the market that morning. His clothes were still torn, but at least they were cleaner. He had even tried to comb his hair with his fingers. Brother Jide opened the gate and looked down at him. You're the boy? Yes, sir. Brother Jide studied him for a moment, then stepped aside. Madam Blessing is waiting in the garden. Timi walked through the gate, his bare feet touching the smooth concrete of the driveway. Everything looked even bigger in the daylight. The cars, the fountain, the flowers. He felt small, out of place. But then he heard her voice. Timi, you came. Blessing was already in the garden, her face glowing with excitement. I told Daddy you would come. I told him. Timi grinned. I said I would, didn't I? Are you going to dance again? Do you want me to? Yes. But first, tell me about yourself. Where do you live? Do you have brothers and sisters? Timi hesitated. He didn't like talking about his life, but Blessing's eyes were so eager, so kind, that he couldn't refuse. I live under a bridge with other boys. I don't have brothers or sisters, or parents. I dance at traffic lights sometimes, and people give me small money. Blessing's face fell. You don't have a home? Not really, but it's okay. I'm used to it. That's so sad. Timi shrugged. Not really. When you don't have anything, you can't lose anything. And besides, he stood up and stretched his arms wide. I have the whole city to explore. And today, I have you. Blessing giggled. You're funny. That's the point. Timi spun in a circle. Now let's see. What kind of dance should I do today? He began with a moonwalk, sliding backward on the grass. Blessing clapped. He followed it with a robot dance, moving stiffly and mechanically. She laughed. From the second lab window, Chief Adebayo watched again. This time he wasn't hiding. He stood openly, arms crossed, a small smile on his face. For the first time in a long time, his house felt like a home. Later that evening, after Timi had left with a full plate of rice and chicken from Auntie Bimpe, Sister Patience cornered Brother Jide in the kitchen. You see what is happening, don't you? She hissed. What are you talking about? That street boy. He's getting too comfortable. Today it's dancing. Tomorrow he will be asking for money. Next week he will steal something. Brother Jide frowned. Madam Blessing is happy. That's what matters. Madam Blessing is a child. She doesn't understand the world. But we do. These street children are clever. They know how to play on people's emotions. Mark my words, Brother Jide. That boy is going to bring trouble to this house. Or maybe, Brother Jide said quietly, he's going to bring healing. Sister Patience snorted. You're a fool. She walked away, her mind already working. If Chief Adebayo wouldn't see sense, then she would have to make him see it. One way or another, that street rat would be out of this house, and she would make sure of it. Okay, family, be honest with me. Do you trust Sister Patience, or do you think she's about to cause trouble? Drop a comment and let me know. And if you're loving this story so far, smash that like button and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Also, we want to know, where are you watching from? Lagos, London, New York, Tokyo? Comment your city below. Let's see how far this story is reaching. 3 weeks passed like a beautiful dream. Every afternoon at exactly 3 p.m., Timi arrived at the mansion gate. Brother Jide would open it with a nod, sometimes even a smile. Timi would walk through, no longer nervous, his bare feet now familiar with the smooth driveway. And every afternoon, Blessing would be waiting in the garden, her face bright with anticipation. "You're late," she would tease, even though he was always on time. "Sorry, Madam Blessing," Timi would reply with a bow. Traffic was terrible on the bridge. She would giggle, knowing he walked everywhere. Then the show would begin. Timi's performances became more creative. There was Uncle Trouble, a clumsy man who kept falling into imaginary potholes. There was Sister Market, a bossy woman shouting at invisible customers. There was Oga Police, who chased criminals that didn't exist. Blessing laughed so hard she sometimes got hiccups. But something else was happening too, something neither of them expected. Blessing began to move. At first, it was small, a twitch in her fingers when Timi told a particularly funny joke, a shift in her shoulders when he danced too close. Then one day, her toe moved. Timi, look!" Blessing shouted, staring down at her foot. "My toe, it moved!" Timi dropped to his knees beside her wheelchair. "Do it again. Try again." Blessing scrunched her face in concentration, slowly, painfully. Her big toe lifted. Just a centimeter, but it moved. Timi jumped up screaming, "You did it! You did it!" From the window, Chief Adebayo saw it too. His hand went to his chest. His eyes filled with tears. It was beginning. His daughter was coming back. That night, Chief Adebayo called Timi into his study for the first time. It was a massive room lined with leather-bound books and awards. Timi stood nervously in the center, feeling very small. "Sit," Chief Adebayo said, pointing to a chair. Timi sat carefully, as if the chair might break under him. Chief Adebayo leaned back in his executive chair and studied the boy for a long moment. "Do you know what you've done for my daughter?" "I just danced, sir." "No, you've given her something I couldn't buy with all my money. Hope." He paused. "I want to do something for you." Timi's eyes widened. "You already let me visit, sir. That's enough." "What if I enrolled you in school?" Timi's mouth fell open. "School? Yes, a good school, with uniforms, books, everything. You would stay in the servants' quarters here. You would eat 3 meals a day. You would go to school in the morning and spend time with Blessing in the afternoon. What do you think?" Timi couldn't speak. His throat was tight. His eyes burned with tears. You would do that for me? My daughter is walking toward healing because of you. It's the least I can do." Timi's voice cracked. "Thank you, sir. Thank you." Chief Adebayo nodded, but there arose. "You will respect this house. You will study hard, and you will never ever disappoint my daughter." "Do you understand?" "Yes, sir." "Good. We start next week." As Timi left the study, his feet didn't touch the ground. He was flying, but not everyone was happy about the changes in the mansion. Uncle Festus, Chief Adebayo's younger brother, arrived unannounced one Saturday morning in his Range Rover. He was a shorter, rounder version of the chief, with slick-back hair and gold rings on every finger. Unlike his brother, Festus had never built anything. He lived off family money and spent his days gambling and drinking. When the accident happened and Blessing became paralyzed, Festus secretly hoped his brother would fall apart. If Chief Adebayo became too weak to run the companies, then maybe, just maybe, Festus could step in. But now, Arriving at the mansion, Festus saw something that disturbed him. Laughter. He walked into the garden and stopped in his tracks. Blessing was sitting upright in her wheelchair, clapping and laughing. And in front of her was a ragged street boy, dancing like a madman. What is this? Festus demanded loudly. Chief Adebayo, sitting nearby with a newspaper, looked up calmly. Good morning, Festus. Good morning. Who is this dirty child in your compound? His name is Timi. He's Blessing's friend. Friend? Festus laughed bitterly. Adebayo, have you lost your mind? A street rat as a friend to your daughter. Blessing's smile disappeared. He's not a rat. He's my friend. Quiet, child. Adults are talking. Chief Adebayo stood up, his voice cold. Don't talk to my daughter like that. Festus stepped closer, lowering his voice. Brother, I'm saying this because I care about you. People are talking. They are saying you've gone soft. That grief has made you foolish. This boy is dangerous. 11 years old. He's a street child. Tomorrow he will steal. Next week, he will bring his gang. And then what? You lose everything. Your reputation. Your business. Everything. I've already lost everything that mattered. Festus, my wife is dead. My daughter couldn't walk. Until this boy came. So now you're going to throw away everything father built because a street child makes your daughter laugh. Chief Adebayo's jaw tightened. Get out of my house. What? I said get out and don't come back until you can show respect to the people I choose to welcome here. Festus' face turned red. You're making a mistake, Adebayo. A big mistake. And when it all falls apart, don't come crying to me. He stomped out, slamming the gate behind him. Timi, who had stopped dancing during the confrontation, looked at Chief Adebayo. Sir, I can leave if I'm causing trouble. You're not causing trouble. He is. Now, where were we? I believe Blessing wanted to see your confused masquerade dance. Blessing clap. Yes, do it, Timi. Timi grinned and began dancing again. But in the back of his mind, he couldn't shake the feeling that trouble was coming. And he was right. That night, Sister Patience made her move. She had been watching, waiting, and now she had her opportunity. While Chief Adebayo was in a business meeting and Timi was asleep in the servants' quarters, Sister Patience crept into the main house. She went straight to the chief's study. She opened drawers carefully, searching. Then she found it. A gold cufflink, expensive, no pet, a gift from a foreign business partner. Sister Patience smiled. She slipped the cufflink into her pocket and quietly left the study. The next morning, she knocked on Chief Adebayo's bedroom door. Sir, I'm very sorry to disturb you, but something has happened. What is it? Your gold cufflink, sir. The one with the diamond. It's missing. Chief Adebayo frowned. Missing? Are you sure? I was cleaning your study this morning and noticed the case was open. One cufflink is gone. Chief Adebayo's expression darkened. When did you last see it? 2 days ago, sir. Before that boy started coming into the house. The implication hung in the air like poison. You're suggesting Timi took it. Sister Patience lowered her eyes, playing innocent. I'm not suggesting anything, sir. I'm just saying it was there before, and now it's not. Chief Adebayo's fists clenched. Where is the boy now? In the servants' quarters, sir. Bring him to my study. Now. Sister Patience hid her smile as she walked away. Finally, the street rat would be exposed. Timi was shaking when he entered the study. Sister Patience had told him nothing, only that the chief wanted to see him urgently. Sir, you called for me? Chief Adebayo's face was hard, unreadable. A valuable item has gone missing from this room. A gold cufflink. Do you know anything about it? Timi's stomach dropped. No, sir. I've never been in your study except that one time you called me. Are you sure? I swear, sir. I didn't take anything. I would never. Then how do you explain this? Chief Adebayo held up the cufflink. Timi blinked, confused. But you have it, sir. Yes, because I found it this morning in my car where I left it 3 days ago. Chief Adebayo's eyes shifted to Sister Patience, who was standing by the door. Someone tried to frame you, Timi, and I want to know who. Sister Patience's face went pale. Sir, I must have been mistaken. I'm so sorry. I thought Habiyu thought you could get rid of him by making me think he was a thief. Isn't that right, Sister Patience? No, sir. I would never have you pack your things. You're dismissed. I want you out of this house by tomorrow. Sister Patience gasped. Please, I've worked. I've worked for you for 12 years. And in 12 years, I thought you were loyal. But I see now you're just cruel. Get out. Sister Patience opened her mouth to argue, but the look in Chief Adebayo's eyes stopped her. She turned and left, her face twisted with rage. Chief Adebayo turned to Timi, his expression softening. I'm sorry. I should have trusted you. It's okay, sir. I understand. No, it's not okay. You've done nothing but bring joy to this house, and I almost let her poison make me doubt you. Before Timi could respond, they heard a scream from the garden. Daddy! Timi, come quick! They both ran outside, and what they saw made time stop. Blessing was standing, not leaning on her wheelchair, not holding onto anything, just standing. Her legs trembling like new branches in the wind, but standing, tears streamed down her face. I did it. I stood up all by myself. Chief Adebayo fell to his knees, his hands covering his mouth. He was sobbing. Deep, body-shaking sobs of joy. Timi stood frozen, his own tears falling freely. Blessing took one step, then another. Then she fell forward, but her father caught her, and he held her so tightly, as if he would never let go. My daughter, he whispered, my beautiful, strong daughter. Bessie looked up at him. I told you, Daddy, Timi's magic is real. Chief Adebayo looked at Timi over Blessing's shoulder. Their eyes met, and in that moment, something unspoken passed between them. Gratitude, love, family. That evening, as the sun set over Lagos, Chief Adebayo made a decision that would change all of their lives forever. Timi, he said, how would you feel about becoming my son? Timi's world stopped. Sir? I want to adopt you, legally, officially. You won't just live here. This will be your home. Blessing will be your sister, and I will be your father. Timi couldn't speak. He could only nod as tears blurred his vision. Blessing wheeled closer and grabbed his hand. Say yes, Timi. Please say yes. Yes, Timi whispered. Yes, 1,000 times yes. And just like that, a street boy with nothing became the son of a billionaire. The story hit the newspapers 3 days later. Billionaire Chief Adebayo seeker to adopt homeless boy. The headline spread like wildfire. Radio stations discussed it. Television hosts debated it. Social media exploded with opinions. Some praised Chief Adebayo. This is what true wealth looks like, using it to change a life. But many criticized him. He's being foolish. That boy would destroy him. Street children can't be trusted. At the mansion, Chief Adebayo read the newspaper calmly over breakfast. Timi sat across from him, no longer eating in the servants' quarters, but at the family dining table. He wore new clothes now, clean jeans and a polo shirt that actually fit. Are you worried, sir? Timi asked quietly. Chief Adebayo looked up. About what people think. No, I stopped caring about that the day I saw you make my daughter smile. He folded the newspaper. But I won't lie to you, Timi. The road ahead won't be easy. People will judge you. They'll say you don't belong. Are you ready for that? Timi swallowed hard. I think so, sir. You'll start school next week, Graceville International School, one of the best in Lagos. The children there come from wealthy families. They may not be kind to you at first. I've faced worse than mean words, sir. Chief Adebayo nodded slowly. Yes, I suppose you have. He paused. One more thing. When the adoption is finalized, you carry my name. Timi Coker. How does that sound? Timi's eyes filled with tears. It sounds like a dream, sir. Then let's make it real. But outside the mansion walls, others were making very different plans. Uncle Festus sat in an expensive bar in Victoria Island, nursing his third glass of whiskey. Across from him sat two men. The first was Mr. Okoro, a lawyer known for handling dirty cases. The second was a journalist named Chidi, who worked for a tabloid newspaper that thrived on scandal. So let me understand this correctly, Mr. Okoro said, leaning back in his chair. Your brother wants to adopt a street child, and you want to stop it? Not just stop it, Festus said, his words slightly slurred. I want to expose it for the foolishness it is. My brother is losing his mind. First, he let this rat into his house. Now he wants to make him an heir to my father's empire. Chidi, the journalist, raised an eyebrow. An heir? So this isn't just about adoption. This is about inheritance. Of course it's about inheritance. Festus snapped. My father built that company from nothing. And now my brother wants to give it to some street rat who probably can't even write his own name. Mr. Okoro smiled coldly. And if the adoption is stopped, who would be next in line if something were to happen to your brother? I would be. As his only surviving sibling. I see. Mr. Okoro sipped his drink. Well, there are ways to challenge an adoption. We could argue that your brother is not mentally stable, that his grief has made him incapable of sound judgment. Can you do it? For the right price, I can do anything. Chidi grinned. And I can make sure the public sees your brother as either a saint or a fool. Which narrative do you prefer? Festus leaned forward. I want people to see him as a man who has lost his mind. A man who is endangering his daughter by bringing a criminal into his home. Consider it done, Chidi said. They clinked their glasses together. A conspiracy of greed disguised as concern. Monday morning arrived with clear skies and heavy hearts. Timi stood in front of the mirror in his new room, wearing the crisp uniform of Graceville International School. Navy blue blazer, white shirt, grey trousers, black shoes that felt strange on feet that had known only bare ground for so long. Emmanuel, the driver, drove him to school in one of Chief Adebayo's cars. As they pulled up to the gates, Timi saw children being dropped off in Range Rovers, Mercedes-Benzes, and Teslas. You'll be fine, Emmanuel said, noticing Timi's nervousness. Just remember where you came from and be proud of it. Timi nodded and stepped out of the car. The whisper started immediately. That's him, the street boy. I heard he used to sleep under a bridge. My mother said Chief Coker has gone mad. Timi kept his head up and walked toward the administration building. But before he could reach it, 3 boys blocked his path. The leader was a tall boy named Shegun, the son of a bank CEO. He looked Timi up and down with disgust. You are the famous beggar, Shegun said. Tell me, how does it feel to trick a rich man into adopting you? I didn't trick anyone. Oh, you can talk. I thought street rats only knew how to beg and steal. The other boys laughed. Timi's fist clenched, but he remembered Chief Adebayo's words. Don't fight them. Rise above them. Excuse me, Timi said, trying to walk past. Shegun pushed him hard. Timi stumbled backward and fell. Where do you think you're going? You don't belong here. This school is for real people, not gutter trash. A crowd was forming now. Students pulled out their phones, recording. Timi stood up slowly, his face burning with shame. But before Shegun could push him again, a voice cut through the air. That's enough, Shegun. Everyone turned. A girl stepped forward. She was about 15, tall and confident, with her hair in neat braids. Her name was Kemi, and she was the head girl. He's a student here just like you, Kemi said firmly. If you have a problem with that, take it up with the principal. But you will not bully anyone on my watch, Shegun sneered. You're defending this nobody. I'm defending what's right. Now, move. Shegun hesitated, then backed off with his friends, muttering insults. Kemi turned to Timi and offered her hand. Welcome to Graceville. Don't let idiots like him get to you. Timi took her hand, his voice shaky. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. It's going to get worse before it gets better, but if you're strong enough to survive the streets, you're strong enough to survive this. As Kemi walked away, Timi realized something. He had allies. Not many, but enough. He just had to hold on. 2 weeks later, Chief Adebayo received a legal notice. Uncle Festus was challenging the adoption in court. The claim was simple but devastating. Chief Adebayo Coker is mentally unfit to make decisions regarding adoption due to unresolved grief and psychological instability following the death of his wife. Chief Adebayo read the document in his study, his face unreadable. His lawyer, Mrs. Adeyemi, a sharp woman in her 50s, sat across from him. This is a tactic to delay the adoption. Your brother is hoping the court will order a psychiatric evaluation. That alone could take months. Let him try. Adebayo, this isn't just about you. If the court rules against you, Timi goes back to the streets. Is that a risk you're willing to take? Chief Adebayo looked at her steadily. I am willing to do whatever it takes to protect that boy. He is my son, not by blood yet, but by love. And I will fight for him. Mrs. Adeyemi smiled. Then we fight. The court date was set for 3 weeks later. In that time, Uncle Festus's tabloid campaign intensified. Articles appeared questioning Chief Adebayo's judgment. Has grief made him reckless? One headline screamed, Street child or master manipulator? Asked another. Anonymous sources claimed Timi was violent, that he had stolen before, that he was using blessing to get to the family's wealth. None of it was true, but lies, when repeated often enough, start to sound like truth. At school, the bullying got worse. Shegun and his friends spread rumors. They trapped Timi in the hallways. They poured juice on his books. They recorded him and posted videos online with cruel captions. Timi wanted to fight back, but every night he remembered Chief Adebayo's words. Let them see who you really are, not by fighting, by rising. So Timi focused on his studies. He worked harder than anyone in his class. When teachers asked questions, he answered. When assignments were due, his was always the best. Slowly, grudgingly, some students began to respect him. Not all, but some. And that was enough. Finally, the day of the court hearing arrived. The courtroom was packed. Journalists, spectators, family friends, Uncle Festus sat on one side with his lawyer, looking smug. Chief Adebayo sat on the other with Mrs. Adeyemi and Timi beside him. Blessing was there too, in her wheelchair, though she could now walk short distances with help. The judge, an elderly woman named Justice Okonkwo, entered. Everyone stood. This court is now in session, she announced. We are here to determine whether Chief Adebayo Coker is fit to adopt the minor, Timi, as his legal son. Mr. Okoro, you may present your case. Uncle Festus's lawyer stood confident and theatrical. Your Honor, this case is not about denying a child a home. It's about protecting that child from a man who, despite his wealth and good intentions, is not mentally fit to be a father at this time. Chief Coker has not undergone proper grief counseling following his wife's tragic death. He has made impulsive decisions, including allowing an unknown child into his home with no background checks. This is not the behavior of a rational man. It is the behavior of a desperate man grasping at anything to fill the void left by tragedy. The courtroom murmured. Mrs. Adeyemi stood. Objection, Your Honor. My client has provided a stable home, enrolled Timi in one of the best schools in the country, and ensured his medical and psychological well-being. This is not impulsive. This is compassionate. Compassion without wisdom is dangerous. Mr. Okoro shot back. The judge raised her hand. I will hear testimony from both sides. Call your first witness. What happened next would determine Timi's entire future. Do you think the judge will side with the billionaire or with the greedy? Drop your prediction in the comments. And if you're on the edge of your seat right now, smash that like button and share this with someone who needs to see it. Mr. Okoro, Uncle Festus's lawyer, called his first witness. Dr. Adeyinka, a psychiatrist, took the stand. He was a man in his 60s, gray-haired and serious. Dr. Adeyinka, Mr. Okoro began, in your professional opinion, is it possible for grief to impair judgment? Yes. Grief can lead to impulsive decisions, attachment disorders, and what we call replacement behavior, where a grieving person attempts to fill a void by latching onto someone or something inappropriately. And if a wealthy man who lost his wife suddenly decides to adopt a street child he is known for only weeks, would that concern you? Without proper evaluation, yes, it could be a sign of unresolved trauma manifesting as impulsive rescue behavior. Uncle Festus smiled from his seat. The journalist Chidi scribbled notes furiously, but Mrs. Adeyemi stood calmly. Dr. Adeyinka, have you ever evaluated Chief Adebayo Coker personally? No. Have you reviewed his medical records? No. Have you spoken with him, observed him, or conducted any clinical assessments whatsoever? No, but her. So you're giving a professional opinion about a man you've never met, based on a hypothetical scenario presented by opposing counsel. The courtroom murmured. Adeyinka shifted uncomfortably. I'm speaking generally about grief patterns. Generally. Thank you, doctor. No further questions. Mr. Okoro called 2 more witnesses, a social worker who questioned whether proper background checks had been done, a child psychologist who spoke about attachment issues in adopted children from traumatic backgrounds, but Mrs. Adeyemi dismantled each testimony with precision. No one had actually assessed Timi. No one had visited the home. No one had real evidence, only theories. Then Mrs. Adeyemi called her witnesses. First was Auntie Bimpe, the cook. Tell the court what you've observed over the past 2 months, Mrs. Adeyemi said gently. Auntie Bimpe smiled. I've seen a broken family become whole again. Madam Blessing, she was like a ghost before that boy came. She didn't eat, didn't smile, just sat there waiting to die, I think. But Timi, he brought her back to life. And Chief, he was drowning in work and sadness. But now he laughs again. They eat dinner together. They are a family. Has Timi ever caused trouble? Never. That boy is respectful, hardworking, and kind. He even helps me wash dishes sometimes, even though I tell him he doesn't have to. Next was Brother Jide, the security guard. Timi greets me every day, he testified. He asks about my children. He remembers their names. Street children who are criminals don't do that. They don't care about anyone but themselves. But Timi cares. He's a good boy. Then came Kemi, the head girl from school. I've watched Timi for 2 weeks. She said he's been bullied, mocked, pushed, and humiliated. But he never once retaliated with violence. Instead, he works harder than anyone else. His teachers say he's brilliant. He helps other students who struggle. That's not the behavior of a manipulator. That's the behavior of someone who deserves a chance. Uncle Festus's smug expression was fading. Finally, Mrs. Adeyemi called Chief Adebayo himself. He walked to the witness stand with quiet dignity and placed his hand on the Bible. Chief Coker, Mrs. Adeyemi began, why do you want to adopt Timi? Chief Adebayo took a breath. Because he saved my daughter's life, not with medicine or money, with joy. My daughter was dying inside. I watched her disappear a little more each day, and I was powerless to stop it. But Timi, with nothing but a dance and a kind heart, brought her back. How can I not love a child who did that? And what about the claims that you're not thinking clearly? I've never thought more clearly in my life. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm giving a boy who has nothing the same chance my father gave me. My father was a poor cocoa farmer. He had nothing, but he worked hard, and eventually, he built an empire. Timi has that same spirit, and I refuse to let poverty decide his future when I have the power to change it. The courtroom was silent. No further questions, Adeyemi said softly. Mr. Okoro stood for cross-examination. Chief Coker, isn't it true that you've only known this boy for 2 months? Yes. And in that time, you've made him the potential heir to a billionaire empire. I've made him my son. What I do with my wealth is my business. But surely you understand the concern. What if he's not who you think he is? What if he's using your grief against you? Chief Adebayo's eyes hardened. My daughter can walk again because of him. That is not manipulation. That is a miracle. Mr. Okoro had no response. Then came the moment that changed everything. Blessing, who had been sitting quietly, raised her hand. Can I speak? Justice Okonkwo looked surprised. You wish to testify? Yes, Your Honor. The judge hesitated, then nodded. Very well. Approach the stand. Emmanuel, the driver, helped Blessing walk slowly to the witness box. Every step was careful, deliberate. The courtroom watched in absolute silence. When she reached the stand, she refused to sit. Instead, she stood, gripping the rail for support. My name is Blessing Coker, she began, her young voice clear and strong. I'm 9 years old. 8 months ago, I couldn't move my legs. I couldn't walk. I couldn't even feel my toes. But today, I'm standing in front of you. Do you know why? No one answered. Because Timi danced for me. He didn't know me. He didn't want money. He just saw a sad girl and wanted to make her smile. And he did. Every single day. He came back. He danced. He told jokes. He made me laugh. And slowly I started to feel again. My toe moved first. Then my leg. Then I stood. And now I can walk. Tears streamed down her face. My uncle says my daddy is crazy. But my daddy is the smartest man I know. He saw what I saw. That to me is special. Not because he's perfect, but because he's kind. And if this court takes him away from us, it will break my heart. He's not just my friend, he's my brother. She looked directly at Uncle Festus. And anyone who wants to hurt him is not my family. The courtroom erupted in whispers. Justice Okonkwo banged her gavel. Order! Order! Under Uncle Festus' face went pale. Mrs. Adeyemi smiled. No further questions, Your Honor. But Mrs. Adeyemi wasn't finished. Your Honor, I'd like to present one final piece of evidence. Something the court should know about the petitioner, Mr. Festus Coker. She held up a folder. This is a police report from 1998. It documents an incident where Mr. Festus Coker was arrested for embezzlement from his own family's company. The charges were dropped because his older brother, Chief Adebayo Coker, paid back the stolen money and begged the authorities not to prosecute. Uncle Festus shot to his feet. That's a lie. It's public record. Mrs. Adeyemi continued calmly. And there's more. In 2005, Mr. Festus borrowed 12 million naira from the company for what he claimed was an investment. That money was never returned. In 2010, he attempted to sell company land without authorization. Again, his brother covered for him. And now, in 2024, he's challenging this adoption. Why? Not out of concern for his niece, but because he fears losing access to the family fortune. She turned to the judge. This man has no moral standing to question anyone's fitness as a parent. He's a parasite who has lived off his brother's success for decades, and now he's afraid that success might go to someone more deserving. Uncle Festus's lawyer stood. Objection, this is character assassination, is the truth. Mrs. Adeyemi shot back. And the court has a right to know who is really behind this petition. Justice Okonkwo studied Uncle Festus carefully. Mr. Festus Coker, is this information accurate? Uncle Festus said nothing. His silence was answer enough. The judge nodded slowly. I see. This court will take a 30-minute recess to consider all testimony. We will reconvene for my ruling. 30 minutes felt like 30 hours. Timi sat beside Chief Adebayo, his hands shaking. Blessing held one hand. Chief Adebayo held the other. Whatever happens, Chief Adebayo whispered, you are my son. In my heart, the papers don't matter. They matter to me. Timi whispered back, I want your name, sir. I want to be a Coker. When the judge returned, the courtroom fell silent. Justice Okonkwo adjusted her glasses and looked out over the room. This case has been unusual, she began. Typically, adoption cases involve children from orphanages or foster systems with extensive documentation. This case involves a child who came from the streets with no records, no history, and no background checks. Many would call that reckless. Timi's heart sank. But the judge continued, this court must also consider the reality of what has occurred. A child who was homeless, hungry, and hopeless has been given shelter, education, and love. A girl who could not walk is now standing on her own. A family that was broken has found healing. Those are not the results of recklessness. Those are the results of compassion. She looked directly at Uncle Festus. As for the petitioner, this court finds his concerns to be less about the child's welfare and more about his own financial interests. A man who has stolen from his own family has no credibility to question his brother's judgment. Uncle Festus stood angrily. You can't AC, sit down, Mr. Coker, or I will hold you in contempt. He sat. Justice Okonkwo turned to Chief Adebayo and Timi. This court finds Chief Adebayo Coker to be of sound mind and excellent character. The adoption petition is approved. Effective immediately, Timi is legally recognized as Timi Adebayo Coker, son of Chief Adebayo Coker. The courtroom exploded. Blessing screamed with joy. Chief Adebayo pulled Timi into his arms, sobbing openly. Mrs. Adeyemi wiped tears from her eyes. Uncle Festus stormed out of the courtroom, his face twisted with rage. Timi couldn't speak, couldn't move. He just clung to Chief Adebayo and cried, You're my son. Chief Adebayo whispered, My son. I have a father, Timi sobbed. I have a family. And in that moment, nothing else in the world mattered. 1 year later, the mansion was filled with laughter again. Timi, now 12, stood in the garden wearing his school uniform. He had just won first place in his class. Chief Adebayo stood beside him, bursting with pride. Blessing, now 10, ran across the lawn, no longer needing a wheelchair. She tackled Timi with a hug. I told you you'd be brilliant. Careful. Timi laughed. You're getting too strong. Chief Adebayo watched them, his heart full. His phone buzzed. It was a message from Emmanuel. Sir, the new Children's Foundation you started has received its official license. We can begin operations next month. Chief Adebayo smiled. After Timi's adoption, he had decided to establish a foundation to help other street children, give them education, shelter, hope. Timi had inspired it all. That evening, at dinner, Timi looked at Chief Adebayo. Daddy? It was the first time he'd used that word. Chief Adebayo's eyes misted. Yes, son, thank you for seeing me when no one else did. Thank you reminding me what really matters. Blessing raised her juice glass. To family, they clinked glasses together, the sound echoing through the mansion that was no longer silent. A billionaire, a street boy, a paralyzed girl, three broken pieces that somehow fit together to create something whole. And it all started with a dance. Well, what a journey. From the streets to a billionaire's son. If this story touched your heart, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like this video and share it with someone who needs hope today. Medium below. What was your favorite moment in this story? Tell us where you're watching from. We've had viewers from 50 plus countries. And remember, this story teaches us that true wealth isn't about money. It's about kindness, compassion, and giving people a chance. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay blessed, stay kind, and keep believing in miracles.